Well, let's talk about this thing called workflow of digital photography. Ready, set, let's go. Workflow. Well, what on earth does that mean? There are people in the business and manufacturing world who are very familiar with a term called supply chain management. And actually, Michigan State University has, I think, the #1 program in the country in that subject in the business school. It basically means making sure that things get done in the right order and with the kind of quality that is expected, so that at the end of this chain, of the supply chain, a great outcome happens, whether it's a product or a surface. And that's what we photographers refer to as workflow. Now, workflow is personal. You determine the steps that are best for you based on your goals. Makes sense, doesn't it? You want a good outcome, you got to find out what the steps are that are needed to get you to that outcome. So your personal style, your equipment, where you happen to be at a given time, many things more than that, they all flow into the workflow. And what we'll do now is go through some steps that I think you'll agree will form a solid foundation, and they're things that I make part of my practice every time I shoot. So step 1. Get out there and make some great photographs. And in between, you'll probably make some poor ones, and you'll make some that are raising questions and that are making you think you don't know what you're doing, but that's all part of learning. Don't worry about it. Just keep making pictures. Now, step number 2, what on earth do we do with these pictures? Well, I have some students who come into my classroom and they've got a camera and they've got one memory card, and that memory card holds all the photographs that they've been able to save over the last 2-3 years or whatever. They've never formatted the card, they've never downloaded the pictures. You're not going to be one of those people. So step 2, take the memory card out of the camera, put it in a card reader. Now, some computers have a card reader built into them. You could use that too. You might want to connect your camera with a cord that probably came with the camera directly to the computer, although I don't recommend that option if at all possible. Much safer to take the memory card out and use it in a reader. It's a little bit awkward if you're connecting the camera and the computer, and things can happen. Step 3, plug the card reader into the computer. And when you do that, you're going to find appearing on your screen a little file folder with your pictures. Copy that file folder onto your computer hard drive by simply dragging it to the desktop. You could also drag it to a pictures folder if you've already made one of those and it's sitting there on your desktop. Step 4, we're going to use some software. There's a wide variety. We're going to talk about some of them a little bit later in the course, not too long. But you'll use this software, whatever you choose, to organize your pictures. Now, this includes naming the photographs, selecting which ones are best. With some software, you actually give them stars, maybe 1 star or 4 stars for the best pictures, and marking them so that they can be found easily by adding keywords. These keywords are things that help identify the scene. Maybe blue sky, maybe yellow flowers, maybe your name if it's a picture of you, whatever. You'll also want to add your copyright information and contact information in the metadata. And we'll be demonstrating all the basics of that when we do Adobe Lightroom in a future lesson, so stay tuned. Step 5, once you've managed the pictures in your software and it's got all the information that you need, it's time to copy them. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to copy them onto 2 separate hard drives. I keep one hard drive at my home and another one at my office. If my office burns down, at least I've got the one at home. It's sad, but that's really what we're preparing for here. And I can sleep well at night. Step number 6, if you've got a cloud or Flickr account or some other service that backs up your entire computer, this is the time to get that done. You can also add your photographs to your personal website if you've got one, or share them with friends on social media if you like. Personally, I never post my creative photography to Facebook or any other social media site that has in its terms of use a forced transfer of my copyrights to them so they can do whatever they want with my photographs. That's a non-starter for me. At this point, you can clear your photographs from your computer hard drive so you'll have more space for the next time you download pictures. The last thing you'll want to do is pop that memory card back in your camera and hit the format button. Wherever that is, might be on the menu, might be somewhere else, might be in functions, and we've gone over this in setting up our cameras, but format the memory card now. Don't worry about it. You've got at least 3 copies, 1 in the cloud, 2 on your hard drives, maybe even that one still on your computer hard drive. So just format it, clear it off, get it ready to work. Step 7, and now comes the part that everyone looks forward to, or at least I do, and that is making beautiful quality prints for display, for collectors, for your friends, your family. Give them out to strangers. The print, to me, is still a special thing, and I hope it is to you too. We'll be talking about how to make wonderful prints and using a variety of papers later on in this specialization. You'll use image adjustment software such as Lightroom. That's one we'll be discussing in the future, but there's others as well. And you'll create a file that's especially massaged, so to speak, for printing. You'll want to save that to your backup drives as well. Step 8, well, start from the beginning, make great pictures, and repeat all the other steps. And that's your workflow.